Joining us on a Wednesday is our good friend, Dr. Barry Taylor. Dr. Barry, how are you today?
I'm very well, Ken. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am doing great. I mean, this kind of a day sort of energizes you. If you didn't have any energy when you woke up this morning, you do now. Feel great. Feel great. And Dr. Barry, for those who
you have to get out of bed, though, Ken.
Well, I haven't. I may still be in bed for all anybody knows, right?
Boy, that took a 180 turn.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Taylor brought it up. He said you have to get out of bed. I don't know whether he has some surveillance on my dwelling or not, but at any rate, Dr. Barry Taylor with us. Go ahead, Barry.
I'm just thinking how often I stay in the house, and whether I've got the heat on, not often, or I don't have the heat on, that I can go outside and then say, wow, it's really beautiful out. And I didn't realize it until I stepped outside.
Right.
That was my
Sometimes
point.
you
That
have
was
to
really
do that. Yeah.
I will take the cameras out of your bedroom, though. I made my point.
I would appreciate that. Dr. Barry Taylor is the author of Love Your Body, Your Path to Transformation, Health, and Healing. And what are we going to discuss today, Dr. Barry?
I thought we would make things simple for our folks, and I encourage anybody listening, if they'd like to call in for questions. I'd love to get some questions, if that's appropriate, on this day.
Sure.
If they could put their Frisbees down or, just take their hand off of petting their dog as they're walking their dog. So I have the top 5 foods. We'll see how you and J-Dog do. That would be
top 5 foods.
Optimal to stop. Start giving these foods up, and just giving them up will really have you huge steps towards getting healthier, your body functioning better, your skin being better, your digestion being better, your sleep being better, your mental focus being better. So I wanted to go over some 5 simple foods. We're going to play guess. I wonder how you and Jay are going to do. And then 5 foods that are not exotic. So I'm going to give you a little hint. We're not talking about mung bean sprouts, and I don't have tofu on the list. What are 5 foods that would be really good to eat more of, that would even accentuate the whole process even more than just eliminating some of the, we want to go over some of the things that really detract. I mean, the cost to your body is pretty big. So let's start with, what's the first food you think? And it doesn't have to be in priority. I've just got 5 things I've learned in the last 45 years working with people. You want to cut these down, or, hey, could you cut them out for a while and then go back to them just in a little bit? What's a real biggie, Ken, that you think would be great for people to eat less of?
I'm going to say sugar.
Oh, my God. You see? The cameras work. I've got a psychic pulse on the top of the lens. And when it beams down watching you, that's the first thing I've got, Ken, is
really?
Sugar. Yeah.
How do you know you're not being surveilled?
Well, I think I am. I don't think I'm not. I think I am.
Do you have an Alexa in the room?
I don't. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah. You remember something years ago, Prevention Magazine, Rodale Press? So,
I do.
You remember? Yeah, years ago. So that man and that whole organization, which, what was they, like 5 million people in the 50s and 60s? I mean, it's just a gigantic force of people eating healthier. He was a huge, if you're going to take one thing out of your eating that's unsettling you, whether you're diabetic or you're severely hypoglycemic or not, irrelevant. He connected it to arthritis, and he connected it to energy, and he connected it to depression and all sorts of stuff, is sugar. Yeah, you nailed it right on the head in all its forms. So we're talking about read the label and you got fructose, and read the label and you got sugar. And now it's a little bit of honey or a little bit of blackstrap molasses. Not many people up north eat blackstrap molasses. A little bit of maple syrup. Lots of people have maple syrup. Little bits. That's different. We're talking about refined sugar That's in ketchup. It's in mayonnaise. It's in cakes and cookies. It's ubiquitous. Can you spell that for me? No, I can't. I don't know how to spell it.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. How much? People eat a lot, pounds and pounds. Well, there's 6 tablespoons of sugar and, a scoop of ice cream, and there's 4 tablespoons of sugar in that big piece of pie, and, there's 2 tablespoons in a cookie. It's not much, but over weeks and months for normal people who eat cookies, cakes, candy, ice cream, regular ketchup, not going to mention the labels, regular mayonnaise, not going to mention it, then we're talking about over the year, pounds of white sugar when it gets in your body is different than cane sugar in a field from Hawaii, and it robs your body of B vitamins and calcium to start. So that's the biggie. J-Dog, any questions about sugar? Ken, any questions you want to ask me about sugar? Fine if you
no,
don't.
Except I should probably eat less of it.
This is true. What's the second food, Ken?
I would.
You're betting 1,000.
I'm on a hot roll right now. How about flour?
That'll work. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. You're like a game show, right? Yeah. White processed flour. So not if it's whole wheat flour. I know there's a huge spin right now in terms of people who are gluten insensitive, and some people are. But, there's buckwheat flour and there's soy flour and sesame flour. There's all sorts of flour. What I think you meant is processed where most of the nutrients are on the floor, and now what you and I grew up in, despite the vast decades of difference in our age. We're talking about processed flour of breads and, Wonder Bread has got 27. Yeah, well, you forgot to tell us you took 48 nutrients out, so thank you for putting 27 back in. And you squish it, and it's kind of like bubble gum, or it's just, we're talking about white flour cookies, white flour cakes, white flour pastas, and yes, that would be, yes, because we're not prioritizing like what's the most important. So now you're batting. Can you be batting 2,000? You're 2 for 2. No,
2 for 2.
1,
I think that would still be 1,000, but we'll take the 2,000. We're not playing baseball, so we can make up our own rules.
How much I like you. You're batting 2,000, but in my
processed flour, sugar, processed flour. J-Dog, what do you think?
Yeah, no, processed. Absolutely, those two. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about number 3?
Number 3. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, candy is made from sugar, and it depends on, like some cakes, as you mentioned, flour. The third food you'd cut out. That's a tough one. Because I'd say like sugary drinks, but again, that's still in the sugar.
That falls into that same
falls
category.
into that, yeah.
That's
those are 2 big ones, though.
Yep. Oh, yeah. They cover a lot of food.
Yeah.
They cover a lot of food. And, J-Dog is being very healthy. Is this a fast day for you, J-Dog, or have you made an exception today?
I've made an exception later today, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, I'll next Wednesday I'll be back to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Okay.
So what about red meat?
What kind of red meat? What's the word that we put in front of white flour?
Processed.
Yeah. So now, what kind of red meat?
What kind of red meat?
Processed
red meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Processed.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about regular. We're not talking about grass-fed beef. If somebody wants, I'm not making a case now for everybody being vegan. I'm not saying no one should eat meat, but the meat that you and I, the 3 of us grew up on, that's shot with antibiotics. It's got all sorts of hormones. The regular meat at a regular supermarket, no names mentioned. The bolognas, the hams, the bacon, the sausage. It's got nitrates, all of the processed meats, that it's not just these incredible long chains of animal protein that's got tons and tons of fat, But unless you're getting bacon that's organic, or unless you're getting sausage that's organic, which is possible, there's some great local places all over the wonderful state of New Hampshire. Unless you're getting grass-fed hamburger, then the key is the third I have on my list is processed meats. Just cut them down, cut them out. You know, they've been linked to cancer for the nitrates in hot dogs. It's been linked to cancer for years. Years for people who study and research, and they're not just making stuff up. Nitrates, all that stuff, all the colors in hot dogs, all the antibiotics and hormones in red meat. Yeah, cut it down, cut it out, and why don't we do a field trip, Ken, to Italy? Dr. Ken takes friends and family to Italy. Dr. Barry will be your food tour guide, and we'll go get some really great salami and really great stuff, because they don't put the same kind of stuff. I was almost going to use a four-letter word, but I won't. They don't use the same kind of additives that they do in this country, So processed meat.
That's good to know. I think we should have an eating trip through a healthy eating trip through Europe or Italy, wherever you want to go. Yeah.
Yes, and we can split the group in half. Some can go look for truffles, because we love truffles, and some can go look for elderberry wine.
Oh, there you go, which is not easy to find. It's not easy to find in this country.
Okay, let's keep use this word again, process. What's the fourth food that we didn't mention? Process what other foods?
I'm going to go. I'm going to go with dairy products.
Oh my God! See, Ken, how lucky is it, Jay, that you work with this wise Merlin? God.
Say that I say that every day.
Every
must be
day,
under his breath. He says it.
Yeah. Jay, is that before he puts his pointed hat on, or after?
Before.
When you call him before. Got it. And then he puts the Merlin hat on, right? Yeah. You look at dietary fat as it relates to, what might there be is a dietary link between cancer and heart disease, the two biggest killers when people are not dying of old age, but they're dying of disease in our country. It's not sugar. It's actually dietary fat. So the same song, sorry to be so repetitive, that you got rennet, which is the inside of cow intestine, and that's what they put in regular cheese to harden it. But there's so much cheese, American cheese, no brands need to be mentioned, that's got all sorts of dyes in it. And well, what if I do skim milk? Well, you're still talking about mother's milk for a calf, which is intended to have a 100-200 pound calf, baby cow, grow into a 2,000 pound cow. You're talking about the length of the protein chains of milk. So if you take the dietary fat out, you still have these unbelievable growth hormones that are intended to have a calf grow into a cow, wondering why people are so obese. And then you got regular cheeses that have got all sorts of things in it besides the rennet and colors. And I love cheese, but I eat more or kind of only to rare occasion that I'll have a cow cheese, I'll have a goat cheese, I'll have a sheep cheese instead of Parmesan. I'll have Romano, that's grated sheep cheese. And, Jay, if you were blindfolded and, somebody said, is this Parmesan over your vegetables or is it Romano? You'd never know the difference. But one, the length of the protein chains is pretty close to human breast milk, as in from goat milk, sheep milk. And the other is, the fourth would be processed dairy. Now, some people, even if it's not processed, seem to not do well. Now, if they worked with me or a functional medicine doctor, I could probably work with their brain to have less mucus and less sluggish bowels because the dairy is so sticky. But overall, when I'm looking at sugar, processed meat, processed dairy, it's really great for people to consider cutting down, maybe, for a month or two or three, maybe for a week or two. Just cut it out. See what happens to your body. We've all been a bit drilled, and a bit brainwashed by the dairy lobby that our mothers and fathers bought into, that we need dairy for
strong bodies.
What mineral?
Calcium.
Thank you. Merlin, thank you. Yeah, and that's so mythologic. I mean, we would be the only mammal that drinks milk beyond infancy. I mean, any mammal that produces milk and an infant can suck a breast to get milk doesn't do it in adult years. Like not one exception. Two-leggeds are the only people. It's all economically farm-driven decades and decades ago. That some people still think, I need to have milk for strong bones and strong teeth and to get calcium. It's just mythologic. It's just fallacious. There's tons of calcium in carrot juice. There's tons of calcium in tahini. There's tons of calcium all sorts of different places. But it's economically driven. And then you get it processed. Okay, now drum roll. There's one thing that is ubiquitous. I'd say it's not a problem for either of you. I think I can say that that's true. But when you look at that, was a big hint. What do people, two-leggeds, intake that's really a problem for our culture?
Are you talking about the consumption of alcohol?
It must be difficult, Jay. I mean, when he gets like this, I mean, all we should do is just deep bows of respect, right? Yeah, I'm talking about alcohol. Yeah. Good, Ken. Good. I'm glad.
Thank you.
Thank
you. See, you don't think I pay attention to you, but I do.
Yeah.
I'm not playing video games while you're on with me. I listen to your every word, Dr. Taylor.
Yeah, your listeners are so lucky to have you. It's really great.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
Aren't they?
It's not about an occasional glass of wine here or an occasional glass of wine, a beer here. It's not. When you look at the misuse in our culture, and it does cross all sorts of ethnic lines and religious lines, and we don't have to talk about statistics of how many people, it's pretty unbelievable, of how many people are killed in car accidents that alcohol is related. You look at, here, I don't know the number of this number. How many marriages break up? How many couples? I was speaking to a woman this morning. She was in a relationship with a guy for 3 years, and they were talking about moving in and living together, and this, that, and the other was all hunky-dory. I said, what happened? She said, well, it wasn't like that in the first 6 months, but, I think I kind of got, quote, wined and dined. By the third year we were in a relationship, he was starting to drink at noon. So,
wow.
I'm gonna be careful with my words because I want to not insult and be disrespectful to any groups of people. So I think I can do this. There are some people who don't consider themselves alcoholic because their capacity is so unbelievable. The liver generates certain enzymes where if you don't drink a lot, you don't have to be an 85, 90, 95-pound woman to be a lightweight. And, one shot of tequila, vodka, or one glass of wine is going to, put a small lady on her bum. There are people that, because of how much they've been drinking, they build up a tolerance, so they can handle a six-pack, or they can handle 2-3 drinks, or so they think, different than, I'll put the three of us in a category where, we might be able to have one drink, unless your liver is not that great. And then obviously there are all sorts of different ways that any of us buy, this person weighs 225 pounds and this man weighs 150 pounds. So there's all sorts of differences in terms of how alcohol is affected by the body. But in terms of physical, societal cost, I'm suggesting is somewhere between enormous and catastrophic. I mean, I bet you there's tens and tens and tens of thousands of women like this who broke up with a guy, or a guy who broke up with a woman. I want to say that this is, all men who are closet alcoholics. That would be untruthful. But there are a lot of people who use alcohol as a coping strategy. The effect on the physical body of robbing the body of B vitamins, where somebody is already doing a lot of sugar, somebody's already not doing a lot of B vitamin-rich foods. The effect on cognition, the effect on that's thinking, the effect on creativity, let alone the danger of driving or have the misuse of anger, the misuse of frustration, the misuse of resentment. So I'd say when we look at white flour, white sugar, processed meat, processed dairy, the fifth one that listeners, I'm not a teetotaler. I'm not. I am more than concerned about somebody being a designated driver. I'm talking about where people drink alcohol as part of their way of life and really are not being honest. They're not looking in the mirror and having a come-to-Jesus conversation about what is this really doing? Is this having me age normally, so I'm kind of 40 going on 70? Or can I drink this much 4 or 5 days a week? I don't drink Monday to Friday. I only have 3, 4 Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Can I drink that much and think I'm going to be 70 going on 40? And those are the questions. Those are the foods I'd have people really consider learning about. There you have it. I'm open to questions.
All right.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Well, if you have any questions for Dr. Barry Taylor, you can call in right now, 866-823-1077. That is our number here on Cailin Company, and Dr. Barry Taylor would be delighted to answer your questions, take your calls, your views, ideas, opinions, and he'll be with us after the break for a while, so still plenty of time to call in and talk with Dr. Barry Taylor, 866-823-1077, and after the break, we're going to find out the 5 foods that would be really good to add to your diet. So we'll find out.
I'm going to call my bookie on the break, Ken, because you're going to get at least 3 out of 5, and I'm going to put an extra bet. You might even get 4 out of 5.
Vegas odds.
I don't know. I think I'm better with the stuff that you should give up than the stuff that you should be eating, because I probably have a tendency to eat more of the stuff that you should give up than what I should be eating. Anyway, we'll take a break. All right, Dr. Barry Taylor is with us, the author of Love Your Body, Your Path to Transformation, Health, and Healing. And now we're going to talk about the 5 foods that would be really good to eat more of. If I can dangle that participle.
Think simple, real simple.
Simple, real simple. All right, I'm going to be really simple.
That's my tip. That's my
Well, I'm going to say to really think simple. I'm going to say you have to eat more kale. Oh no, that's listen to more kale. No.
Right.
So what about kale? Is kale? Does kale fall into this group, Dr. Barry?
Yes, kale. So let's. Can we expand this, because we don't need to be. You'll pardon. We don't need to be that narrow. But kale is an example of what food group is kale in?
It would be the leafy vegetables.
Excellent. So, yes, that would be one that's on my list, is eat more vegetables and fruit.
Yeah.
Preferably organic. How wonderful the Concord Farmers Markets, open again on Saturdays. I don't know how we're going to do social distancing, but I forgot COVID doesn't exist in New Hampshire. Nobody wears masks.
I love the donuts at the farmers market too. I really do.
My God. There are unbelievable donuts. Yes, I when I used to walk up and down the farmers market, last year, I would go quite regularly on Saturdays, and I looked. I didn't inhale. I never inhaled, but I did look at the donuts. Yes. So, a food group that if listeners, J-Dog, you, me, all of us, could eat more of. I'm talking about fresh fruits and vegetables. A majority of vegetables, easily 5-to-1. So, yes, you can have some more blueberries and raspberries and strawberries and organic peaches and organic apricots. These days, that's true. But Linus Pauling said that 95% of cancers, now this is a guy who got a Nobel Prize in science, right? He wasn't just some guy, poking around with beakers in a lab. He was a major world-renowned, got a Nobel Prize in scientific study, said that 95% of cancers can be prevented if you eat 7 cups of vegetables a day. Now, rumor has it that that's pretty hard for most anybody, me included. So I want to put a parenthesis. There are 2 things. One, eat way more. Count colors like you're a little kid, and have a red and a green and a white and a yellow and an orange and a light green and a dark green. Have a lot of colors. Eat more vegetables. But it's very difficult. And I have some clients, they're kind of like part rabbit because, there's no problem for them to have 2 salads a day. Each salad probably has 2 cups. Well, that's 4 cups. But there is a way that if people could get on the bandwagon, and the way is to juice more, not pasteurized apple juice from the store, and certainly not, we've talked about, not pasteurized orange juice where the vitamin C in orange is extremely heat sensitive, and the 100 milligrams of vitamin C per orange it's gone. It's like sugar water. I'm mostly talking about carrot, apple, beet, carrot, apple, kale, carrot, apple, parsley, carrot, apple, cucumber. And we could do a whole half hour sometime on cucumbers amazing for the skin, and apples are amazing for digestion, and beets are incredible for the liver. And now those are medicinal aspects. But in the Concord area, you've got Live Juice, a fabulous place. And then some Whole Foods. I'm not sure of the Whole Foods down in Nashua area, but there are a couple. Some Whole Foods are California-like in that they have a juice bar. They'll make juice right in front of you, which is different than there are all sorts of companies that fly their juice in from California, from Texas, from Florida, from all over, and now you got bottles that were frozen, flash pasteurized, but maybe better than not drinking anything, but it's nothing like making fresh squeezed juice. And, I don't sell juicers, but I recommend juicers. So if any listener wants to email me, I don't sell juicers to people, but I can, point you in the right direction, which one to get from Amazon or from wherever you might want to order from. And, for $150, $200, you can get a juicer that, you could almost throw against the wall and throw it on the floor. It's going to last you a good 10 years. Don't do that, please. But when you think about your digestive tract, getting rid of solid waste, and then, liquefying food from whatever it is you're eating, and then you absorb the liquid, then the joke, not joke, is, your intestinal tract is like a juicer. Well, if you drink carrot, apple, celery, and celery is really in, Ken. Just amazing. Celery is fabulous for the nervous system. Again, without getting into all the medicinal values of the individual vegetables, it's a way, if you drink 8, 10, 12 ounces a day, 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, maybe not 7 days a week, it's a enormous benefit. And if you ask me, what's one of the biggest things that with the clients across all ages, across different sexes, across, different, all sorts of, what seems to make the biggest difference when you've given people food advice and consulted with them regarding food? The biggest thing would be people who cut out sugar for 1 month, and then at the end of a month, how do you feel? And people who do juices, say 4 days a week, fresh, not pasteurized in a bottle, fresh juice. Do that for a month and tell me how you feel. Those are not like, oh, I'm taking calcium, I don't notice anything, I take vitamin E, I don't know any difference, but I read something or Dr. Taylor said something, so I believe him. I'm going to buy this. It's like insurance. Those two things, fresh juices, are the first one of the biggest positives you can make. But you need to kind of get into a rhythm of either going to a place like Live Juice in your community or other people who might be listening to this and are not in Concord, New Hampshire, and finding a place that really will make it right in front of you or made it an hour ago. It's not juice that they made 2 days ago that's now oxidized. You're betting 1,000. You're batting 1,000.
I know. It may come to an end here, though. But, J-Dog is a big juicer. J-Dog is probably the biggest juicer I know.
Yes?
Yep.
What kind of juicer do you have, Jay?
I have the Cailin Power Juicer.
It's a real good one.
It is.
Yeah,
the motor's almost like a lifetime. Now, I originally bought one in 2007 because I had seen the infomercial back in 2006. And I was a size 56 waist, so I was working out more. And with my tax return in 2007, bought the Cailin Power Juicer and had beet juice for the first time. Fresh made beet juice where you take the beets and the carrots and things like that. And it was just it was a love affair that has continued to this day.
Good for you, J-Dog. Yeah, and let's tell the listeners, never drink beet juice straight up unless you want to go straight to the bathroom and stay there for a while.
That was the first thing. That was the first thing that I recognized after drinking beet juice.
Yeah. Carrot, apple, beet, carrot, beet. Beet juice is just amazing. And lest I forget, the Love Your Body program that's coming up in July. If you've never done this, Jay, you might want to hop on board. My favorite juice cleanse of all time, and I've led many, many hundreds of people through this, is a watermelon cleanse.
Oh, very nice.
Watermelon juice, which you do not need a juicer for. Because if it's an organic watermelon, then you can put the rind in your Cailin. Caillin's a really good one. I like the Juice Man's got a really good one that you can buy online. Mm-hmm. And there are a couple of really good ones, but Cailin is really good. But in watermelon, if you cut it real close to the rind, we're not going to use the rind unless it's organic, and then you might use the rind because there's so much chlorophyll in the rind. But if you cut really close to the white, very close, and just throw that in a blender and whiz the blender, I have people drink a quarter to a half a watermelon a day. And it's amazing how their appetite dissolves. Watermelon is a diuretic. It's one of the most unbelievable things for weight loss, and it's really good for cleansing, especially the kidneys. But we can talk about watermelon in another week or two if you want, because I'll be guiding people if they want to do my online program in July for a watermelon cleanse. And it's always amazing when you do something like that with other people.
Yeah,
okay, we got 4 more foods to focus on. What's another one? Go for it.
All right, we've talked about fruits and vegetables, right? So not in that category.
Can I give you a hint?
Sure.
Go simpler.
Simpler.
I have simpler than fruits and vegetables.
All right. How about nuts, seeds, stuff like that?
Wizard-like. What did you have for breakfast? Tell me after the.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Next question.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not what I was looking for. You've gone lateral on me, but it's you're still batting 2,000. People should eat more whole grains.
Whole grain.
So we're talking about buckwheat. We're talking about brown rice. We're talking about quinoa. We're talking about millet. We're talking about sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds and almonds and almond butter, and chia seeds and flax seeds. And in the world of what could people eat more of, if we're going to say eat less cookies and cakes and pies and candy, they want to eat more whole grain. And so you have whole grain pasta, and you got whole grain this, and you got whole grain soup, and you can throw it in a vegetable soup. Maybe you have a little less in May, June, July, August, because it's so hot. maybe you're going to eat a little bit more split pea soup and barley soup in October, November, December, because those are warming foods. But in a world of, can we cut out the white flour, or what we said was processed flour? So now on the other side, yes, it's not as simple. I want you to get really even simpler, but you're 2 for 2. Way more vegetables, a little bit of fruit, very much less fruit in the winter when it's cold out. But next 2-3 months, we can have fruit. But as long as you don't have way more fruit than vegetables, that's not good. And lots of whole grains. Excellent. What's another?
Okay.
2 other things, one at a time. It's even simpler than whole grains and nuts and seeds.
Even
it's
simpler.
So obvious.
Even simpler. Oh, man. How about beans?
No, that would be in whole grains.
All right. Okay.
I include legumes, split peas, and pinto beans and hummus, and that's in the whole grains. Simple. You and I have talked about it. J-Dog and I have talked about it.
How about fish?
No.
Oh boy.
What makes up 70 to 78% of your body? You are mostly a bag of
water.
Thank you. Yeah, people are dehydrated. People are. Just look at them. People are dehydrated. 3, 4, 5 glasses of water a day, and take a look. What's in your water? It's like you can hardly look. You can hardly read it. I mean, it's not just the chlorine. It's not just the fluoride. And buying bottled water is completely unsustainable because you got all these plastic bottles. And what's plastic made from? Plastic is made from oil. So, yes, I have lots of information if anybody wants to email me about water purifiers. And it's not a $39 Brita filter, which takes out chlorine. So it tastes a little bit better because if you take chlorine, wow, I didn't realize. Yeah, but it doesn't take out the impurities and the chemicals and the bacteria and the infection and all the stuff that you wouldn't believe is coming through your pipes. So more water, ideally optimal water. Optimal water is not distilled water, and optimal water is really good water. And to drink 4, 5, 6 cups, well, if you're a 90, 100-pound lady, then maybe 6 cups is too much for you. But you're a 100, 175, 200-pound man, or woman, and, you're a 5'5", 5'6", 7", and you're a 135, 150-pound woman. You're not overweight. You want to be drinking 4, 5 good glasses of water a day will make a staggering difference in the rest of all sorts of biochemical functions. Now, if you could get simpler than water.
Simpler than water? How can you get simpler than water?
Well, water is a what? What is water? There are 4 what?
I beg your pardon?
There are 4 what in the world. Water is an example of what?
Water is an example of what, J-Dog? Help me out. Help me out, J-Dog. You're healthier than I am.
I am. I'm trying to help you out here. Yeah.
Water is an element.
An element. Okay.
An element. Okay. Yes.
An element.
Okay.
So
what's another element that we consume that people don't consume enough? Is it fire? Not unless you're in a circus. Do you eat mud? Not unless you're a dog. Could it be, what's the 4th element?
The 4th element. The 4th element.
Water, earth, fire, and
Go ahead.
I got it. See, that's it. I got to come up. I got to work with you too. I got to work with you too.
You stumped both of us. Air. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Air.
Oh, that's what we're on right now. Air. Yeah.
That's right. We're on the air. I think.
Air.
Yes.
Yeah. Most people breathe from their neck up. Most people don't breathe deep into their bellies. Most people do not take advantage of what their lungs can do unless maybe, they're a trained athlete. So the 3 of us are not going to be a trained athlete. And, the 3 of us, honey just jumped up on me and is yawning. The 3 of us, that's my puppy. The 3 of us, just might be normal unless when you walk, you intentionally breathe. Unless when you swim, you intentionally breathe. Unless when you dance, you intentionally breathe. Unless when you do jumping jacks, you intentionally breathe. Oh, my God. Is he going to go there? I think he should. Unless when you make love, you intentionally breathe. So most people don't breathe. They hold their breath and like, well, excuse me, where's the tiger here? You know, where's the ferocious animal that has you holding your breath? It's just the way we walk around being so stressed out that we don't realize that we are not breathing very deeply. And I said it was simple, but I'm going to ask you to trust me on this one. If people breathed in a way that had some intention to increase lung capacity, their brain would get fed nutrients better. Their body would, their blood would circulate better. Their heart would pump better as a muscle. What's in air when you what is in air when you take more of it in your body? What is in air?
Oxygen.
Thank you very much. So oxygen is pretty critical. And that's why all these preservatives, all these additives, you've heard the word antioxidants, that all these chemicals that we eat in our body, this guy's actually starting to make sense. What do they take up? They take up oxygen to be metabolized. That's why when you eat enough of this preservative stuff, it has like a drug-like reaction, and we age more quickly. So, to breathe better, it's not just more vitamin C, which helps you save more oxygen, vitamin E, which helps you save more oxygen, but to breathe better would probably take some kind of recalibration, Ken, Jay, of noticing and observing how shallow you breathe so that you could start to retrain yourself to take some deep breaths much more regularly.
Well, Dr. Taylor, we all have to take a deep breath because we've got to wrap up this segment and get to some of our sponsors. But we appreciate it, and we've learned a lot today. We really have. And we will look forward to chatting at some point next week.
Can the listeners wait? Because I'm not going to go there because we got to go. We've got one more food to tell people next week.
Next week.
One more.
That's our cliffhanger. That's our cliffhanger.
Okay.
Thanks, Dr. Taylor. We appreciate it.
God bless, Ken. Be well, Jay. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.